I think we're live. We're live, everyone. Yes, we are. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new stream. And that is right, we kind of have an emergency stream today. We have breaking news across the world. We are joined by Mr. Real Texas Politics.
Hello.
And I didn't Luke just leave?
Yeah.
Well. So, yeah, I decided to go live this morning because there's a lot of stuff happening across the world, so we're here. Now, before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. These are all great ways to support the daily content, but if you have any questions, concerns, comments, or just want to support the channel even further, best way is sending super chats via the chat. Again, I'll read through as much of chat as possible, but usually the super chat's best way to get your questions answered, and yeah. So, let's get into it. So, there is a legitimate chance that the war in Ukraine could end by the end of the week. Now, I'm not saying it's for sure going to happen, but listen, it sounds like Putin wants to end the war right now. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like Putin is saying, okay, we're going to end the war, we want to negotiate, end the war, stop the killing. Now, will that actually happen? I don't know. It's too early to really tell, but look at this headline for BRICS News. Russia says it's ready for nuclear disarmament talks with the United States. Now, let's be honest. Would this happen with Harris as president? Hell nah. This is something that only happened with Trump. Trump's the only one to actually do it. Oh,
Yeah,
hello.
this should. Yeah, hi, I'm back. Yeah, this should be big. We'll have to see what happens with the Ukraine.
With
We
the
got to get this
Ukraine.
figured out, I think. With the well, yeah, that's what it was called. People called it just the Ukraine because Ukraine means borderland in Russian.
Oh.
That's what it translates to.
Alright. The Glitch TV for 2. Luke just uploaded. Should we put him in the crystal? Maybe.
Well, no, I started uploading that like 15 minutes ago. It's actually a clip from the live stream that John Rose was on last night. It was, yeah.
Who's John Rose?
Oh, speak of the devil. Holy crap.
That's why I said it, because John Rose just joined, yeah.
Yeah, so, it's a quick stream today. I want to talk what's happening in Russia and Ukraine and then the border, because we got breaking news there. So, I'm not saying for sure it's going to end the war. The war's going to end, like, this week, but there's a legitimate chance it could. Because Putin sounds like he wants the war to end already. Now, the question is, like, if you're Trump, I mean, well, if you're Putin, like, or I should say Zelensky, like, does he actually give up already? Or no? Does Zelensky keep getting this war continuing? Or does he actually just bend the knee finally and just say, you know what, maybe enough Ukrainians have died. Maybe we should end the war today. That's the real question. I think that's what's holding this up, Zelensky. And quite frankly, the rest of Europe. Does Europe want the war to end? I don't know, but we shall see.
I don't think they do, but
Which is dumb. It's like, why? I don't get why they want the war to continue so badly. What's
because
the point?
Putin. They want to get rid of Putin.
Good luck with that. Good luck.
I would imagine their end goal is basically to get rid of Putin and then nation build in Russia.
Yes, that can't go horribly wrong. Surely nothing.
Well, it was really interesting at the World Economic Forum yesterday. Trump actually discussed what could end the war in Ukraine, and he actually said that he wanted OPEC, Saudi Arabia, to lower oil prices, and he believed that economic intervention, lowering general oil prices, would actually cause the end of the conflict immediately. It's something that I don't know exactly what he was getting at. I don't understand the full depth of what he's trying to say there. But it seems as though what's actually going to need to happen with this is more peace talks. It's really just Trump needs to talk to Putin. It could happen right after the first conversation that they have, honestly. Yeah. But they just actually have to physically meet and then talk.
I know last night Putin was rushing the capital in Russia. I know that.
Right.
So I think there's talks going right now. So there's hey, listen, I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but there's like a non-zero chance the war could end today. Listen, I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I think we're towards the end of this war. I think. I just don't see the war continuing for maybe a couple more months at most, but yeah.
Ukraine tried to make an extension
hand.
when Ukraine made that incursion into Russian territory and tried to capture land. That was really them trying to make a second part to the war, and they, for the most part, failed in their objectives. They were trying to get negotiating power, and it's failed. And I think right now at this point, there's not a whole much else they can do to strengthen their negotiating position before getting into it. Although I do believe someone else had mentioned either on this stream or on Luke's stream that there is a actual law in Ukraine right now that says Zelensky can't negotiate with Putin, which is really
what?
No, basically, the law states in Ukraine. I have to look this up to verify, but they said that
it definitely was in my stream because like people on my stream aren't smart.
Well, it was saying basically like you could negotiate, but not with Putin. So like you were just saying a minute ago, where the objective is to get rid of Putin. The objective of that law was for Putin to be replaced by another statesman before negotiations started.
These people are dumb. Just end the freaking war. Be done with it. You lost. At this point, it's like, why would you want to continue the war anyways? Because I don't think Ukraine has much. They don't got any gas left in the tank. I don't think they do.
No.
Yeah, that's why they would have had to rely on like European Union.
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to think happened. They realized that they're out of gas completely. Like they're just out completely of manpower. So like, oh hey USA, give us like 20,000 troops. It's like,
I mean they could have asked like all the European Union countries for troops, and they probably would have complied.
Yeah.
Because NATO.
Yeah, NATO's NATO. Glitched
Evie well, actually, I don't know why I said NATO, because Ukraine's not part of it, but...
Well, EU, same thing.
Yeah.
They want to be, though. Glitched Evie for 2, Trump's approval will be, like, skyrocketing. Yeah, that was the thing about this. Like, if Trump actually ends this war in, like, a couple days, even a couple weeks, his approval is going to just shoot up.
Yeah.
I mean, now there's a new poll that he's at 56% approve, according to, I think, RMG Research. So... I mean, if he's already at 56% or 55%, he could actually crack 60.
Yeah, I mean, it barely took like a year for public sentiment on this war to completely drain out of goodwill. 2022, we had a bunch of Ukraine flags. We had a bunch of really big posturing. By the time we got to like February of 2023, everybody was really cooled off. Nobody really cared, and everybody kind of realistically understood, I'm staring at mass human destruction with no actual purpose except for prolonging a conflict. It was really ugly. People didn't like it. People like fast wars. People don't like slow wars. And this is just a meat. And like the figures Trump put out, I think it was 600,000 dead Ukrainians and 800,000 dead Russians. Which, if you read about like Russian historical battles, that's really not that weird. Russia, even in their victories, takes a lot more casualties than they do because they have like a microcosm of what China does. China just like they throw human flesh. Yeah, human wave tactics. They just throw flesh at the problem until it goes away. So I kind of believe those numbers. I think if the Ukrainian deaths were higher, Trump would tell us because he wants to end the war, obviously. But yeah, 600,000 dead Ukrainians, 800,000 dead Russians, 1.4 million deaths. Can we all agree that's enough? Can we all agree it's just
no? We have to stop Russia. We have to stop Putin.
No, I think
Putin's a bad person.
I think it's enough.
He's gonna he is, but those numbers are probably casualties, not deaths. Either way, that's still a lot of casualties.
Yeah, probably.
But it's like that's what Russia does. They just do human wave tactics. That's all they do. Even today, they just like you said, they just throw people at the problem and call it a day. They did World War I, they did World War II, and sometimes it works. All right. I thought we have been giving too much aid to Ukraine since the second batch, triple the first batch from 14 billion to 40 billion. Well, we should never give the money in the first place. Why would you give the most corrupt country on earth $14 billion? Why? So they could, invest it on themselves? Because how much money do we give Ukraine at this point? Does anyone know?
It's unimaginable. Well, no, it's like it's hard to keep track because it's like every single week in the last 3 months of Biden's admin, we were throwing pocket change at them. So it's like,
It
yeah,
probably is about $1 trillion, I would imagine.
I would say $1 trillion, but like if you include I don't know, $1 trillion might seem a bit high, but I think it's a couple hundred million or billion for sure. But it's like we spent all that money.
by March of last year, we had done 174 billion by March of last year. We've been giving them the money all the past year or so.
Yeah, and like the last year we
somewhere
just amped it
200,
up.
250.
Yeah, and that doesn't include the EU. That doesn't include other countries. Oh my gosh! And you're telling me they can't beat Russia? Because isn't Russia's military budget like half that? And you're telling me you can't beat? Oh my gosh! It's just unfreaking believable. It's like they wasted hundreds of billions of dollars, and for what? To lose to Russia? To lose hundreds of thousands of people? Congratulations. Lamau, Ukraine's dramatically losing their manpower tank. Not to mention they don't have the equipment to give their units to their front lines. Where the hell did the equipment go? I thought we gave them all the equipment they needed, but we, like, bankrupted ourselves. What? So, where did the money go? If they're out of equipment and money, where did it go? You're telling me they wasted $300 billion in 4 years? Or 2 years? Alright, Russia could have won this war in a week if they really wanted to. I don't know. In all seriousness, Ukraine is much better culturally than Western Europe. Oh, no, it's bullshit. Is Jackson really be the GOP candidate for the governor of New Jersey? I hope so, but I don't know. So
it's gonna be that, what's his name, Bramnick,
oh,
whatever.
So the real question is, like, how much longer does this war have before it ends? That's a real question now. Because it's gonna end eventually, but is it like a year? Is it a couple months? What does everyone think? Wow.
I think the war is gonna end pretty quickly. I don't know. That's just me though.
I think it's been a couple weeks, at most. It could, again, like, knowing my luck, in the stream.
I'm not making any official predictions.
I'm
like on February 21st at 8:38 a.m.
Yeah.
There will be a ceasefire. Like, I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah, I'm saying like with the next couple of weeks.
I swear, if that ends up actually happening, I will like. At that exact time, I said.
Lord Rhino for 5. Remember, Ukraine's government all got fancy new cars just after the war started. Well, yeah, I mean, like, that's where the money went to. On the oligarchs. You gave the most corrupt country on earth money. What do you think was going to happen? They were going to spend on the people?
Why is Andy Biggs leading the Republican primary poll for Arizona governor?
Wait, what?
No.
Oh, good. We're not starting this crap.
I don't want to risk the governorship by running someone who supports a national abortion ban. I'm sorry, Rap. I know that you disagree with me on this.
But... Luke, you're taking the whole, like, electable thing, like, to the extreme. Trump won the state by 6.
I'm not taking...
He won Arizona by 6. And I know you can say, well, because of the abortion stuff. I understand that. That might hurt Biggs a little bit. But it's clear that Arizona in the recent months have been trending heavy to the right. So I think even
Biggs I'm not going to risk it. It's an incumbent Democrat who's a candidate.
Who is
I'm
like
sorry,
20%
dude. Like,
approval?
How did... You said these exact same things in 2022, and how did that go? That's all I'm saying. We can agree to disagree on this. I'm just saying.
Look, 2022 is the peak of the issue of abortion. You're
well,
comparing
still,
3 years after the fact.
Still, I don't want to risk it. I think we need to flip the governorship.
Let's run Robeson, who's just basically the same as a Democrat, just slightly to the right. And like,
it's not. Trump has already endorsed her.
Who gives a shit?
Trump has already endorsed.
Who gives a shit?
Because what that likely means is that Trump different now, because Trump is surrounded by a lot different people than he was surrounded by in 2018 when he made that endorsement. And he never made like a hard, like he was fully like on stage, like talking about why he endorsed Robeson. The Mitt Romney thing was just like one tweet he did where he was like, I endorse Mitt Romney. Like that's all it was. He didn't like give like some like thought out statement. He just said, "I support Mitt Romney." Like it was something like that. So all I'm saying, dude, is I don't want to run like very right wing candidates in 26. I want to
Very
run
right
like
wing.
he is. He's called for a national abortion ban, which is a very right wing position.
So is Robeson, by the way.
I'll
Did
have to see
Robeson
that.
actually
I'll
call
have to
for an
see that.
abortion ban?
Did she actually?
During her campaign, Taylor Robeson said that she would enforce Arizona's pre-Roe abortion ban, which would criminalize the action in most circumstances.
Oh my.
Yeah, would enforce the ban that existed at the time in
Look,
2020.
now you're full of it. I mean, come on. That's somehow different. What's the difference?
It is
No,
different.
that's the 1864 law.
It is different because now the ban's gone, so it's going to be like Andy. Had she ever called for a national abortion ban like Andy Biggs did?
Who
No,
gives
she
a
hasn't.
She literally wants to enforce a strict
Because
abortion. Oh my gosh. Luke, she
enforcing
literally.
the law that existed at the time and no longer exists, and that's exactly what the point Trump made. Is that if it's a ban that's up to the
But it
like the
doesn't
bans are up
freaking
to the
matter,
states,
Luke.
Arizona
Luke,
voted to
it
get rid of it.
Luke, it doesn't matter because she said it 3 years ago. That's your logic with Biggs. Biggs said something a couple years ago on the abortion ban. So
He
you can't just
still
pick and
has the same
choose.
position, and he's not going to be able to effectively run as a senator because he's had a very right wing career in Congress. If this was a safe red state, I would agree with you. I'd
No,
be
you
totally
wouldn't. You would
fine
just
with
say,
it.
"Oh, it's too
But
right wing for Utah, too right wing for Texas."
it is. It is. Look at Blake Masters. Blake Masters was someone who was the base candidate over like people like Jim Lyman, and he ran and he lost by 5. Okay, I just don't
That's
want to
because
repeat
of a
that.
completely different set of circumstances. Completely.
That's all we're. Again, we're not going to learn anything if we just do this. You can run right wing candidates, just run them in safe states. Don't run them in competitive and swing states. You can run better people in a lot of these safe red governorships. You don't have to have people like Mark Gordon or whatever in Wyoming who does absolutely nothing. You could have more conservative people there, and then you can run more moderate people who better fit a state like Arizona. Arizona is not a
So if Big, okay, hold on. Question:
like Freedom Caucus type state.
If Biggs pivots on abortion, does that change your opinion on him?
If he pivots on abortion and Social Security, Medicaid, and all the other stuff, he's had like
He's
more
probably going
libertarian
to anyways.
positions. We'll see. Blake Masters tried to do that and it didn't work because all that stuff was still out there. That's all I'm saying.
That's not the only reason.
Let's stop. Let's stop debating this. Okay, let's just agree to disagree because we're gonna keep going at this.
So
What?
I'm kind of interested. The other big player, obviously, the Trump endorsement makes a really big difference. Who, like, if Andy can grab that from Robeson, but I was also looking and seeing what Charlie Kirk thought of Andy Biggs. He seems to be a fan. I think that because of Turning Point, that actually makes a really big difference in terms of what might be able to be possible in Arizona's primary.
All right. Let's see. K Cup for 2.
I will reiterate what I said on the Luke stream. I will reiterate what I said on the stream. Everybody could go into a coma, wake up, and then they mistake Andy Biggs for John McCain, and then they vote for him, and then there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
K Cup for 2. Just got here when I miss. Ukraine, Russia might end the war. Lord Rhino for 2. The stream is lagging. I know it's lagging right now. Glitch TV for 2. The stream is cutting in and out. I know it's freaking YouTube. I don't know what's going on today. YouTube's being woke.
They're probably just trying to rig it.
No, it's actually lagging. I can see it.
It started as soon as the argument began. Funny enough.
This is all I'm gonna say. I guarantee they're gonna say this. If Putin actually if they get a deal in Ukraine, it's almost certain the Dems are gonna claim that like Putin's just doing this to help Trump. They're probably gonna say that.
Oh,
yeah, that's gonna be their thing.
What do people see with the MLK files?
Oh yeah, people have been releasing documents. Yeah,
I think there was a document about like his affairs.
Yeah, I don't know if that's new. I actually think I might have seen that.
That's been out there for a while, but that's the thing with MLK. Like, we're gonna know what actually happened to him, but people are gonna realize, oh, wait a minute. Listen, he was an icon, but People might have a different opinion on him.
I still don't think he deserved to be assassinated, though.
Did I say that, Luke?
No, I wasn't saying. I wasn't suggesting you were, but I was seeing some people the other day talking about how he deserved it. I wasn't talking about you, Rap. I was just saying. I saw
what's the
people
official? Yeah, go ahead.
No, I think he's done.
You saw people.
No, I wasn't insinuating you were saying that, Rap.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Well, what's the real American
just saying,
position on assassinations? What on murder? Do you think murder's wrong?
Yes.
I disavow. No.
No, because there were
No.
people on Twitter yesterday who were saying MLK deserved it and stuff like that. It's like, bro,
Let's see
no.
here. FBI used that to convince his wife to oppose him because of adultery. Well, I mean, like, that's the thing with MLK. It's like, people are gonna realize quickly that, he wasn't a saint.
Like, if you
Put it
really want to
lightly.
know, like, the beef of Martin Luther King Jr.'s mind, you can go on this very far left economic website called Jacobin. You guys probably haven't went on there before for good reason. But, like, go look for MLK articles on Jacobin, and that's not some like person like trying to slander Martin Luther. That's a socialist trying to explain to you that really we've always been comrades, brother. Look back to Martin Luther, brother. Comrade, it's time for the revolution.
Oh my gosh. Well, these files being released going to change exactly? Well, like, okay, well, now people are paranoid, be like, oh, there's going to be no files released now. They didn't have any files on it. It's like, but these same people wanted these released anyway, so they're complaining about that now? Like these,
Yeah, the Fell for It Again award people are feeling very stupid.
If he released the files to say, oh, you fell for it because he released the files. It's like, you idiots wanted the files released for years. So what's the point? Alright.
No, the funniest I still can't get over. I still can't get over the one post of Polling USA with the China thing. Like, that is the funniest, like, use of that.
Alright, a glitch Eevee for 2. JFK, RFK, and MLK with women. Well, everyone knows, I think, about that. Well, maybe not about MLK. MLK definitely had, I'll have to field issues. Put it lightly. Alright, K-Cup for 5. Me, hey, will the church be open on MLK Day for drop-off? My priest, oh yes, it'll be open. We don't care too much about that. He wasn't a saint.
I mean, he denied the virgin birth. He wrote an article that was explaining he thinks that Hellenistic philosophy was the reason that people started thinking Jesus was divine. He doesn't think it was actually... Yeah.
No, I know he's a Unitarian, but are you serious?
Yeah, no, so he thinks it's like a development. Basically, the Greeks, as they grew into the religion, started viewing Jesus as a deified figure, and they deified him over time. That's the...
Fucking Peter and Paul, oh my gosh.
And he denies the virgin birth, and he denies the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
But he was a Southern Baptist, supposedly.
Oh, well, Big Ten. It's a Big Ten in Southern Baptist.
Well,
you can
I mean,
not be a Christian.
No, I know. I mean, John, do you see that poll where it's like, yeah, like they didn't think Jesus was divine, like half of evangelicals?
Yeah, that's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. There's no like we call it catechism in like the big churches. People just need to learn stuff. Like 40-year-old soccer moms need to like have basic remedial understanding of Christianity before they start saying things.
This is
not really bad in America.
This is a real poll, by the way. All right, I just want to side tangent because we brought this up, but like, yeah. So this poll found like 43% of evangelicals said that Jesus was a great teacher, but he was not God. Oh my gosh. That's the like unfreaking believable. I just had to bring that up because we brought up MLK, who again, people gotta look up MLK. Was he pushing a good message? Yeah, but he
Actually, let me send the document.
There's definitely things about him that when people realize I think his image may take a big hit the next couple months. But
you saw the tweet from what is it, Moist Hegel, I think.
Oh, I saw this. Can I read this on stream? I don't think I can.
No, there's no way.
Oh yeah, nope. That's right. He was in a drunken. Oh gosh, can't.
And apparently, I think he fathered a child with some kind of
I think the main thing to really like bring up with Martin Luther, the important thing is to separate the symbology from the reality. The symbology of Martin Luther King Jr. that everybody rallied around and everybody loves is the idea that everybody is treated equally and that, the law doesn't discriminate based on race and that everybody has an outcome equal to the effort that they put into their work. Like that was what we actually took from Martin Luther King Jr. It had nothing to do with who Martin Luther King Jr. actually was, but that's what we wanted. And it's okay to want those things and to like that fantasy of Martin Luther King that we had. So we have to separate the symbol from the reality. And once we do that, then we can start talking about how the legislation that was made at the time through LBJ did not make our country equal. It actually put discrimination and enshrined it into our country.
Yeah.
And that's really the conversation we have to have. It's like, well, what was the society we thought Martin Luther King wanted, and do we still want that, or do we want what actually happened? And I think we'll come to
That's a good
clear
point. I mean,
answer
like LBJ, he literally signed like affirmative action in the law, which is not the
Yeah.
that's not what the message of MLK was at all.
The
But,
other thing, the
well,
thing with Martin Luther King is that I think a lot of conservatives, they base his viewpoint on the world on one quote from one speech.
yeah.
Yeah. No.
And that's definitely not going to be representative of his entire viewpoint. They think that because, he supported, they think that because of, the content and character quoted from his speech, that he would be opposed to things like affirmative action, DEI,
No.
Black Lives Matter, all that sort of stuff.
He would support all that stuff.
He wanted everything of
Absolutely.
it, and he was participating in the groups that were the precursors to these things. And I think that's the ultimate mythology to bust. It's that you can still have like that little quote, and you can like want what that quote means to you. But like the more that you try like saying, "Hey guys, Martin Luther King, he was like our guy, bro. He was like a modern Republican, but in like the 1960s, bro." Like the more that you do that, the more that people are going to refute it over and over and over again. And these actually mildly intelligent left wingers are going to be like, actually, I read what Martin Luther King actually believed. You're wrong. He actually believed in the socialism I want, and that's the problem.
Yeah,
That's
again,
the
MLK,
problem.
like, again, so this stuff he said was good. Like, I'm just saying, like, it's like Riley Grimes put in chat, like, separate the art from the artist. Thank you. That's actually a good point.
Art from the artist.
It just, that's the thing with MLK is, like, again, he did not deserve to get whacked, but it's like, he was definitely a person that if you read more into it, it's like, yeah, let's, maybe it's not a good idea to have a federal holiday for him. Oh, I don't know. All right, Riley Morford has been a member for 28 months. Can you imagine Kamala Harris talking to Putin if Harris would have won? Oh my gosh, she already did, remember?
Harris will not have
No,
talked to Putin.
yeah, they would have just cut off Russia,
Yeah.
like kind of like how Biden
In fact,
did,
they
which
probably
I
would
think
have.
that was stupid. That was such a stupid move of Biden to just like not talk like to Russia at all. Like even some of the European leaders like Macron, like they talked to Putin after the invasion, not as much as before, but like a lot of these European leaders like stayed in contact, but Biden just like cut off contact. And now that's like a bunch of like liberal like people now think that's an effective foreign policy thing to just like cut off. Like if you're in like if you're mildly pissed at a country, just don't talk to them.
That's
And that's
stupid.
not a good way to
That's
yeah, it's not a good
philosophy.
way to do foreign policy.
American Air for 2. Thoughts on Edgar Hoover and his time with the FBI? I don't want to get whacked, so no comment. That's
I
my
think if
take.
Harris was president, we probably would have had that law that Ukraine has where we can't negotiate with Putin.
Yeah. I Am Moon has been a member for 13 months. Thank you so much. You guys are more persuasive with the arguments of MLK than are conservatives on the internet. Well, I mean, just do your research on the guy. I'm not saying this message was bad. Like this, like obviously I want equality for everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. You should have a fair chance of things. But it's like you look more to the guy. It's
Went woke.
yeah,
It's
it
bad.
is.
It's really awful, and like there's so many angles. You don't have to be a Christian to have reasons to not agree with what he wrote. You don't have to be anti-communist to not agree with everything he wrote. In just general, he believed in very unequal punishments towards different groups of people to create an equal outcome, equity. And ultimately, that's what we're trying to fight against. We're trying to fight against equity, which is the reality that's kind of avoided in Martin Luther King. His equity is equated and assimilated into equality of opportunity, which is pretty much what everybody agrees with. Everybody agrees with equality of opportunity for the most part, but some people want to try and say, well, the playing field was never level to begin with. That was Martin Luther King's grift. And I think the reason you're saying we're more persuasive is just because we don't have to do the normie grift. We're not having to sit here and talk to like a crowd of like 100,000 40, 50, 60-year-old people who like have been indoctrinated their entire life with like all this information. Like if I was in front of that crowd, I probably would be doing something similar to Charlie Kirk's grift. I would probably be like, "Well, do you content of character? Oh, the Martin Luther boo. Like, I mean, it's about who you're talking to. Like, I don't blame Charlie Kirk for doing that grift, but now that we won the election and that we have an opportunity, let's just talk about real history and then kind of reshape our way of talking about these things. You know.
All right, American Nerd for 3. MLK or Malcolm X, which was better?
Oh gosh.
No comment.
No comment. No comment.
For this one.
I will say Malcolm X did affiliate with some interesting groups that you would probably not expect.
Malcolm X had some. Well, MLK also, but people don't talk about that. But
like the CPUSA.
Yeah.
So putting everything else that Malcolm X believes to the side, I do believe in freedom of association. I believe that there's a lot of people in this country that do not really give a crap about who they associate with, and they just want to live in normal society.
Oh no!
But if you're if you're someone and you want to choose who do you associate with, if you're like a deranged black nationalist and you want to create a black ethno state inside of Mississippi, like you're not going to get like an actual legal system, but like you can make a little neighborhood or something. I don't care. It's just like that's the whole thing. It's like you should be able to freely associate with whoever you want to. So like. I guess Malcolm X, but like he had a lot of really dumb ideas, guys. Like people that worship Malcolm X are really stupid usually. Like, don't listen to people that talk about him.
What I was talking about is the fact that he associated with some groups that were kind of seen on the other end, on the very far other end, because like they both fundamentally wanted.
Was Malcolm X's Nation of Islam?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he would like march with like the cool kids club, because yeah,
the cool kids club.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like I didn't want to say it on stream. I didn't know how to say it, So,
well, I mean, it just.
I think you guys. Because they all wanted the same. They wanted the same thing. They just came at it from different angles.
Hey, guys, hold up. I gotta read the super chats. I gotta go. I just have an emergency. Riley Moore for 5. Murkowski Collins to be primary 26 for voting with Democrats. I disagree. Right guy for 5. Knowing what we know about the black community, that they would never revere MLK more than they already do. How much he slept around. K Cup for 5. Agree no revisionist history. Want only real history. Time to tell all these people who think Shadow the Hedgehog is a good game the truth around the world. Riley Moore for 2. We need a Republican governor of Pennsylvania. So I got a family emergency. I gotta go.
Later.
Sorry, buddy. So thank you guys so much for watching. I gotta get going. So peace.
Godspeed to all of you.
Yep. Everything's fine with me. Just others family.